What's up? What's up? Give everybody a second to get in here. First, what I want to go over is this morning setup on ES. And what's up, morning, Hunter? Hope you're doing well. Go ahead and get all my chats pulled up so I can see. Unlock this because this was yesterday's equal highs we were talking about over here. Go to 1 hour first. So, just like we went over yesterday, when we come into the morning session on indices, you just want to look for where's the liquidity at. All right, what's your daily bias? When we established yesterday, our daily bias was that we had an imbalance and a premium of the impulse move. Price had removed liquidity and discount of the impulse move. And we can obviously see, as of yesterday, the impulse move was over. So when we have something like that occur, that's when you switch your daily bias. Because over here, we came up above these equal highs, and the impulse move ended, right? We had a price delivery array in a discount while price sat in a premium. But then our bearish was bias, or our bias was bearish. Then and see, this is how you just kind of switch it up and determine how do you think this day is going to close. Also, what's up to everybody? Adaliki, what's up? GBP USD long, I'll look at it here in a second. What's up, Full Port Shorts? And I appreciate the congrats on the funded. I'm pretty happy about it myself, so I really appreciate all the wishes. It's pretty dope to see how many people hit me up on Twitter or DM me or hit me up on Discord. Between all that, I'd say it was a lot. I mean, I don't even know. It's crazy. It's way more than I expected. So I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Okay, so this is for GU. Hello, Luca, and what's up, Easy. So when we're looking at ES or anything. No, this isn't just ES. This is anything. This is how you develop your bias intraday as to what you're looking for. Am I coming into the market looking for a sell or a buy? And once you develop an understanding of how price works and that it's just bouncing from one area of liquidity to the next, you'll be able to position yourselves to catch those moves much more efficiently. So in this example, again, we came down, we took out liquidity, filled an imbalance. Now we're in a discount with an imbalance and a premium. So that would give you a bullish bias for the day. You think this daily candle is going to close higher than the last one or higher than it opened, should I say. So we come in, usually I use the 15-minute. Let's just rewind this to about 8:30 candle. So you should be at your desk if you're trading indices. You should be here by now. Now, does it take an hour to find the setup? No, but I think that you need to disconnect from, anything that is where you're not focused, and make sure if you're going to trade indices, just be here, be ready. Just make it like a job, and that's the cool thing about indices, especially a lot of you coming from crypto. Crypto is like, oh, it's 7:30 p.m. and I'm at dinner with my girl and my alert hit. Indices, you're gonna have a pretty time efficient day if all you trade is indices, because you're gonna, if most of the time you're gonna be done by 11 a.m. and you don't need more than one trade a day to be a very profitable trader. So when we're looking at the morning price action, you want to determine what what stands out to you. where do you think a lot of stop losses are, and where do you think institutional orders are residing? So if we look at ES, you could say here there's some stop losses, but look, that's already been removed. We're looking at stuff that's going to be potentially removed after the morning has started, and that means after 9:30 a.m., after the equity markets open. So you could say, okay, well, we've got an order block here, right? And that's not necessarily wrong, but remember, we're looking for a liquidity raid. Now, while we could say, okay, well, this liquidity is being raided into this order block, you can't really say that because this liquidity has already been removed. So that's not going to be able to show you the intention of the market makers because we haven't even opened up yet. The retail liquidity is not really available, so to speak. So with that being said, we have a lot of equal lows here. So a lot of bulls that FOMO'd in, here, or even worse, here, they're looking at this as their closest line of support. This is where, okay, if we break this, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna get in a short because we're breaking down, and I want to sell at that point. So once you can identify an area where that mindset is taking place by the masses, you then want to look around it, where the institutional orders are residing. Can't talk, right? On the 1 hour, it was even clearer. And you can kind of move around, right? And you could say, okay, here's the 1 hour imbalance. See, it's a little smaller. You could mark the 15-minute, whatever you want to do. And again, if you're playing order blocks, look, there's a big order block right here, right before a massive move. Or you could say that this is your order block if you wanted. The equilibrium of it, since it's a larger candle. So then, or the 5-minute just to watch the price action. Then, once you've established that, okay, I think the day is going to go higher. Today should go up. So I'm going to look for a potential area where market makers want to stack longs and how they're going to do it. What liquidity are they going to raise to do it? And that would be right here for me. So we'll say, what time is this now? 9:15. Right, first candle, 9:30. Soon as that liquidity is available, as soon as all of the orders that have been preset, so to speak, or um, as long as the orders are able to be executed, price goes immediately into this liquidity pool. Under these lows, into this fair value gap. Again, you could use these order blocks if you want. We had the mean threshold here. So once you see that, it's pretty much off to the races. But we look for on the 1 minute, how are we going to enter this? Because it's not a great idea to just enter blindly. And when I say blindly, I mean like a risk entry, like setting this right here. I mean, it worked, obviously, right? You could say it worked. However you wanted to target, you could have targeted just this imbalance, whatever you wanted to do. It worked great trade if you did that. But, you don't, it's not going to be as consistent. So what we want to do is we want to come into those low time frames and look right here, right here. So the first time you see the market really show a little bit of a desire to go higher. Now we kind of came down into it, price moved around a little bit, shifted market structure right there. So you can check that off your list. You got that. Fair value gap. Would have looked something like this. Now, where your stop loss was, it's up to you. You could have put it there. For this one, I probably would have put it right here on this candle. You see a clear little high, low, right? And that to me would have been the good stop. Now, where could you have targeted it? Well, I've got a lot of questions on, you can, if you wanted, you could just take it right there if you're cool with that. Obviously you left a lot of money on the table. But I always recommend looking at the impulse move of the morning if it's large, but in this case it's really not. That's the impulse move down into it. So you could cover some here and take some off, but if we think this day is going to go higher, then in my opinion, I'm going to look for higher liquidity. So you can go back and you can mark out areas such as previous daily high, which actually I think we might have already been above that. Let's see in this scenario. You're already above that. So that wouldn't work. So you can't use the previous daily high. So you're just going to have to use intraday liquidity. So personally, I probably would have said out at these highs all the way right there. That's just me. But I see you could have targeted, really this order block if you wanted. Would have been a good target. And another strategy too that we spoke of, I've seen pretty good success whenever your daily bias is correct, which means that overall framework you're on point with it. Then a lot of times holding this trade into the New York lunch isn't a bad idea. As far as part of the trade, I don't recommend all of it, but if you're out pretty decently at these levels or whatever levels you specified, then you're de-risked. There's no hurt in maybe leaving a little bit running through the day because again, we're thinking the day is going to go higher. Usually, the move of indices, there are reversal days, of course, where it moves up and then after lunch it reverses. But usually, as we know, most of the market is continuations, and that goes for almost all time frames. If we have a bullish morning session, a lot of times you're going to have a bullish afternoon session. It may not be as crazy, usually isn't, but that is how you can capitalize off of that. Let me look at some of these questions. Also, thank you guys for all the congrats. I appreciate it again. What's up, Xavier? What's up, Hefe? What technical analysis rules and setups do I look for? Mainly liquidity rates. So I usually look for stuff just like we went over. So I said Atom. So I'm going to do GBP USD first. Do this. I want to see what did you say? Tap into order block and have 5-minute break of structure waiting for pullback. Yeah, the GU has been moving super clean. I mean, if you're using internal structure, that broke right there, but barely. This is kind of one of those where it's like, if you're using just wicks, the entry was right here. See how it came up, immediately went back down into this order block. That's if you're using internal structure to, now there's no displacement there. I can't say I would have taken it, but I do see the high got taken, immediately came back down into this big bodied candle that took liquidity. So that was a new order block that was introduced in order to push price into the higher time frame order block. And you see like at this time, okay, well, it broke. Okay, well, this is my last candle. You would have said something like, bam, you're immediately tagged in. And you see how fast that happens. And, I guess what were you targeting? Let's see the 15-minute. There's really nothing to target in this area in here. I mean, there's no imbalances, so I'd probably just take into these highs right here. Let the runner, if you really thought it was going to go farther. I think it might have already hit this. No, close though. That's how the supply and demand entry model would have went. Now, if you're talking about a liquidity raid, I really don't necessarily see that model this morning. Well, I mean, if you look at it like fair value gap entry, so here, deleting all this. Then something like you could mark this up as your fair value gap. Once price came into that area, you just look for that 1 minute displacement break of structure. Got that right here. Look for a fair value gap. So they're both been very similar entries. That's how I would have attacked that, right? If I was trading at this entry right here. Can I teach you market structure break? Sure. It's pretty simple. So whenever we're looking at um, price, we just have simple market structure, right? We have um, when we're talking about market structure, we've got basically a series of highs and lows. So are you bullish or are you bearish? Are you making higher highs or higher or lower? Sorry, are you making higher highs and higher lows or lower highs and lower lows? So we're looking over here. You have um, a series of lower lows and lower highs until you don't, right? You break out right here. So that would be called a market structure break when you take out the high. Well, it'd be called a change of character. Depending on how you really go about it, there's so many terms people have changed to try to make it different, or market structure break, um, shift in market structure. I've seen people use both of those interchangeable. To me, a market structure break is really just any break of internal structure, so any high or low getting taken. Um, Usually people use them to confirm entries. How much was I risking each trade from my funded account? And congrats for passing it. I was only risking 0.5%, but to be honest, if I would have, I don't want to encourage risking more. 1% is not degen at all. If I was risking 1%, I would have had it done the first freaking 2 days. So I'm not encouraging that, but I did think back and I was like, damn, like you should have just risked, because risking the 0.5%, that's what I'm going to do with my live. But the test, it's almost better in my opinion if you can if you're confident, you have an edge, than to risk 1%. I was just trying to be responsible, but I looked at it like, damn, I could have been done a lot quicker. There's a good eye on this order block though, because when I'm looking around, you know there's not really much there as far as an imbalance goes. This would be ideal too, but I wouldn't just wait around just for it, because we're looking at institutional order flow. We know that they entered here, price came down, their orders got filled. So then what? Price accumulated, expanded, left this gap, price came down, orders got filled. I said, hi, can I talk a little bit about differentiating between a sweep and a break of structure? One quick way is a closure. So for instance, right here, how he didn't close. Now this is just this time frame. See how he didn't close on the 1 hour. So you could say that this was a sweep is just grabbing liquidity, a liquidity raid, whatever you want to call it. That's what that is. It's going for stop. So right here you see price hit it, but it failed to stay above it. So this 1 hour candle structure we see here is a wick. But if we go down to a 5-minute structure, what we're seeing is breakdowns and breaks of structure, so to speak. 1 minute will show it even clearer for that 15-minute high. This is how you would confirm it. So you have these big candles coming down, taking out that low. A fair value gap right there. Would have been kind of a rocky trade here, but as long as you put your stops above the high, you would have been good. Would have taken a little while. That's how I would differentiate between a sweep and a break of structure. So I want to go over Bitcoin. We got stopped at a break even on this trade. I think it was in the middle of, yeah, it was like in the middle of the night. But I still like the idea. There is a lot of news today, so I don't. Some of you may have not moved your stops to break even. I don't know, but I did. So and I told people I did in the Discord. Here, just I'll show you. Where is it? Yeah, I know some people didn't, but I also want to go over GMT too. So I honestly probably could have left the stops, but to me, I'm not. I'm fine with taking a break even on a volatile news day. I don't care. Whatever. If it goes without me, it goes without me. I catch the move up on the way back up. But I'll move this over so it's not cluttering me. But I didn't take any profits on this. I was just gonna hold till fulls. Some of you may have. I don't know. Got a nice little pop, but nothing crazy. Nothing to write home about. GMT kind of just teetering around our entry. But I still like the setup overall. It's kind of weird how inverse a lot of other cryptos this looks right now, in my opinion. But and see that this is what I want Bitcoin to do. I want Bitcoin to come down and take out all these lows, followed with displacement breaks of structure. That's what I want. But in order to do that, Bitcoin's got to fall a good little bit. So hopefully it doesn't take this with it. I just am going off the TA of this trade. The only other area I could see it going to is like down there, but not really. I'm super interested in it. So what's CHC doing out of Leaky? Oh, it's starting. It looks like it's starting to come down. I want to get rid of all this fucking TA. It's too much on my screen. Maybe okay. This high. So we finally came up above this high. We rated down. Look in the 4-hour. There's no internal break of structure yet on a 4-hour. I mean, I guess if you use this low, but I wouldn't personally. So, this could just pull back down into a discount, maybe somewhere into this area, and then continue the upside. The daily though, let's look at that. Yeah, it's a daily imbalance as well. I don't know. I think this could remain bullish. I mean, there's nothing that indicates to me that this is ready for like swings for shorts yet. I mean, that can all change if it just blasts through that and breaks down. But I really want to, before I want to swing this, I want to wait till it's really ready for it, because this is not what I'm going to day trade. I'm going to set alerts for this candle right there. Maybe catch a little counter trend trade, but I wouldn't take it farther than this low. There's gonna be a lot of sell side liquidity under that though. It could just go for it. What I would ideally want is to completely fill this imbalance before kind of coming up, maybe make an inducement high, then come up, give us our trade signal. Still developing there, but I like it. It's seeming more and more ready for sells. I like this kind of movement more than I like this over here. At the GBP USD you showed, why didn't you use the obvious high? Well, if you're using supply and demand entries, then you just got to look for, you're very mechanical, so to speak. I mean, this was the obvious high in my opinion. So, you low, high, low, takes a high. That's the way I would have done it. But I can, see like, okay, well that's, it's 1/10 of a pip, I think, above. Like literally one's 1.117, one's 1.8118. So, don't beat yourself up for not taking that. I can't say whether or not I would have. I haven't been trading supply and demand as much recently, but theoretically, if you're looking at it from, if you require displacement, you probably wouldn't have taken it. But if you're just looking for that break of structure, enter on that. I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to have 20/20. So don't be like, oh, I should have seen that. There's always trades that you're not gonna take or not gonna see. You know. So you said, but I didn't see an M1 pullback. Well, here's a tip too. Well, here's the M1 pullback. Actually, it was here. So so the M1 switched bearish right there and switched bullish again, and you would have had this whole. Depending on what you used, if you use this down candle, you got left. But if you use the whole little buy to sell range, which would have been this, that would have been that same order block we were talking about. Or no, actually, it's different. But it would have been a similar entry. Oh no, it would have been the same pretty much. Or no. Sorry, my mind's not. This was it. It would have been a little bit later, but same risk profile. But again, in hindsight, everybody's gonna say, I'm not trying to tell you this like, oh, here's the easy entry. Here's what you should have done. I'm just saying like that's what I see happened. I can't even tell you if I would have taken it. You know what I mean? Sad to use the down candle, the last one maybe here. Somebody's hey bum's asking for SPX shorts. Let's just take a look. I'll just be honest with you, I'm actually not gonna be trading anything except crypto because I have a little bit on my Binance. But as far as indices and forex, I'm gonna be done until Monday after I hit that. I just want to take the week off. But let's see. Yeah, I mean this is that target I was talking about. Came up above those equal highs. Come up above this. Left more buy side liquidity. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. So that's something to keep in mind if it sustains that. So what I would look for here is we have our impulse move of the morning, and let's see. Okay, well, you've got something going right there. Always look right around equilibrium. You could say this 1 hour order block, whatever you wanted to use. I would just really watch for, if you're in a short, I mean, I think that you'd be covering around here, in my opinion. Could go lower for sure, but don't get induced. If you have a model that presents itself and it's there, take it. But I would be watching price in here. Because look, if you got this 5 hour order block right at the end of that for this, but at the end of that 15-minute fair value gap in a discount, we got that displacement break of structure right here, or right here actually, but price seems to be, and it's preserving liquidity above. So, if price comes down here and reverses, so it does this number, you could probably look for all this. But just be careful if you're shorting it. Probably wouldn't, my honest opinion, but because to me, like, there was an entry for sure. If you took it, you could say, okay, well, here is the being taken with displacement, I guess, all the way down here. I wouldn't have taken it, but that last little fair value gap gave an entry. But then it's like, for me, I would want at least like that was really the most recent high, and then somewhere in here. I guess actually the risk reward's not terrible, but it's just counter daily bias. It's not really the time of day. I think that's just forcing a trade because there wasn't one taken in the morning, because it could easily continue. But if your model presents itself and it's there, don't let me shake you out if I don't want to fuck anybody's bias up. That's just the way I look at it. I wanted to look. I'm gonna actually just go through because I've been wanting to do this for a while. I keep forgetting. Just go through not Bitcoin, cryptos. God, I'm like a fucking boomer now. I've been trading Forex too long. I want to go through some crypto daily charts and just see if I can see anything that's like really appealing. Oh yeah, actually, I'm sorry. Somebody asked about Atom earlier. Well, we took out the target. We've been talking about this for a while. That's good. So we took out the highs. Damn, that's awesome. I honestly was curious if it would play out, but we talked about this a while ago. I'm sure some of you were here. We took out our equal highs. I need to start setting more alerts. But now we're above this area. So you could see potential reversals. I mean, it looks bullish as can be to me. It looks like, this when price is compressing back down, it's just kind of like moseying on its way down to equilibrium and then starts to move off of it. That's just tells me the bullish order flow is still in play. I think it's too early to say that for sure, but that's what I would lean towards. You are getting into that, reversal point though. You've got this weekly imbalance. There's going to be orders remaining there for sure. It's the one that pushed us back down into this order block. I think that order block is going to be pretty close to equilibrium of this. I'm actually curious. Yeah, it's actually right on the dot. So that level, I would keep an eye on that just because of how odd that is. So I want to see what this is 067. I was actually just kind of curious. So I would keep a level around that area. Let's just see what else is there. This is whenever it's just kind of interesting to me. I got another little or no. No, there's no gap there. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing else interesting. But I would watch, for reversals. It hasn't really given signs just yet, but you're above that area. So, atom cells may be a thing in the near future. So I'm going to go ahead and there we go. You guys have any specific coins you think that, as far as crypto, that looks good? Let me know, because I want to kind of start looking at more cryptos on the higher time frames, and because I've been looking back and I'm like, damn, I could have caught a bunch of swings. I've just been focused on everything else. At least I didn't say Bitcoins this time. Yeah, I can't believe I said that the other day. I was like, what the fuck? BLZ. So I said USDT. Let's look at USDT dominance. That's actually a good idea. Did I play any setups? This is Braden from the Discord. Did I play any setups at Indices this morning? No, I didn't. That was just I was just showing you guys. Well, actually, Haas, who's in the chat on Discord, is the one who sent me. What is this right here? What is that? Is that like hold on? I want to show this to. Somebody just sent me this in Discord. Said I guess you can put your favorite currencies right here. Is that what that is? Must know. Okay. So. Okay, I guess I need to set the. So honestly, that on USDT D, I'm just gonna call it USDT dominance, but that is, in my opinion, bullish order flow on the weekly. So when we're looking, we identify, okay, where is the liquidity available? It's going to be under this low and this gap. That's the first area, at least, because after we've gone through this right here, this level, there's no, you know, there's really nothing else except these lows and this imbalance or these imbalances down here. But we see that reaction off of that. As soon as we get under that low, price starts to push up. So right now, buy side liquidity is up there at above 10%. Now I know this is a percentage. I'm just still going to chart it how I chart everything because it tends to work pretty well. If we're looking at the daily chart, balance hit that imbalance right there. And now the impulse move is over. I'll just mark all this. And you've got a imbalance right there. So what I would say is price is now coming back down to fill the orders in this area right here. I'm actually going to set an alert for this. Got some equal highs up there too. So hold on. Oh, it's in the top right of my chart. I don't see it on mine though. Maybe it's because I have it on full screen. Is there a setting for it? Yeah, my trading view's not updated. I don't know. Because I have the I upgraded recently to the higher one so I could have data for seconds time frames. Wish I could. Can you? Is there anywhere that has futures for USDTD? That'd be fun. That would be fun as fuck. I like this idea though. This will take a while to play out. So don't get, you know, freaked out and say, oh, crypto's crashing. But I think we all kind of are in congruence with the idea that Bitcoin's probably not going to all-time highs anytime soon. Holy shit. BLZ. So I'm going to do, just make sure I'm doing an order. BLZ, then Rune and OP. So BLZ, honestly, I think we looked at this a couple times. To me, I wouldn't touch this shit. That's just me. But I'll do the TA on it. It's just like, you know, it's really it's hard to make much sense of, in my opinion. It's just almost like a scam pump and dump coin. Kind of surprised that this is even on exchanges still, but I mean, I guess I'm really not. But so let's see, what do we have down here? Oh my gosh. It seems like the weekly's drawing up here, but in this scenario, it seemed like the weekly was drawing up there and so forth. But you know, we could be generating just a lot of trend line liquidity there. So you could be just wait, wrong one. Shit. Okay, I give up. I need to make more templates for higher time frames. But anyways, trendline liquidity could be a thing there. The weekly chart, yeah, it's just like, again, I mean, I would pay zero attention to this. This is how you waste time and lose money, in my opinion. Or you might hit big every once in a while, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm looking at like a Uniswap chart. I wouldn't touch this shit. Rune and OP. So, I think this is the weekly imbalance. We talked to this a while ago. Damn, it reacted nice. We were in this area the last time we talked about it. We didn't catch the trade. We went back and back tested afterwards. Why is it? Yeah, this high right here got taken. It moved violently off that. Did not react well to these levels at all. Literally just went right through them. So there's no confirmation there. The price was seeking this low down here. I mean, for me, this is still pretty bearish on the daily chart. You know, I would look at the impulse move is really from there to there for me. I know it's tiny, but I mean, it's there. That's the only thing I have off a daily, really, is that's in a premium. I mean, realistically, you know, this is pretty close as well. So you could watch that zone. No law that says it has to come back to equilibrium. It usually does, but you know, it looks pretty rough, to be honest with you. Weekly looks like it wants this low. There's going to be sell side liquidity under that because that's a weekly low. Right now, you've also got your previous weekly low right here. That could be an issue for you. Or a target. I guess not an issue if you're on the right side of the market. I'm just referring for bulls is what I'm referring to. Potential little 3-drop. I mean, I could see it going higher. Again, I would want higher, but no law that says it has to just go back to an equilibrium. I'm seeing, you know, first drive right here, second drive right there, maybe a third drive up into this. I don't know. Probably clear on a 1 hour. You need some juice here soon. I mean, it seems like the 1 hour is going for these lows right here. So that would be the next overall target I would look. If you're day trading, I would wait for that to get taken, and then maybe frame a potential long if the low time frames show liquidity raid. But then keep in mind the institutional structure on most time frames is bearish. So we said is at a daily high or low on Bitcoin. August 23rd. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't call that. I mean, theoretically you can say that, but don't try to justify a bullish narrative over that, in my opinion. I mean, a higher low isn't confirmed for me until we have a higher high, because a low has one job, and that is to make a high. If it doesn't do its job, we target it. So let's just say price does this and it goes all the way up here. People are gonna say that's the higher low, and people that you trade smart money are gonna say that's the weak low if we start to reverse, and that's gonna be your target because it's weak and it didn't do its job, which is create a new high. I said GMT. We're in that trade right now. I said something at a 1 hour OB. Guess you're talking about this down here. I could see it. I mean, to be honest with you, there's liquidity generated under these lows, and then there's this candle right there. It's right under it. So I could definitely see it. Main reason that I picked this low for the stop was because this is where the impulsive move that broke structure started. Right? Where we finally got a closure. You left these inefficiencies. When we entered, price had already came down to a premium and started to move off of it. But it's just chopping around at this point. This is the first time I've traded GMT in a long time. So I'm interested to see. It looks good though, in my opinion. This all looks pretty nice. I mean, we could, who knows, anything can happen, but I see this as the major liquidity raid. So, but anything can happen. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm interested with this one. If it goes in our favor, I think that it'll have, once it starts to move, if this was, the 3 drive pattern, we have like a 1, 2, so there's 1, 2, 3 drives. Then, we got that break of structure. This is similar to the Bitcoin trade we took last week. Definitely not similar in the fact that Bitcoin just took off immediately as soon as we got in it. Binance has USDT domination, or not domination, dominance. I didn't know. I thought that it just had Bitcoin dominance. Am I up for live trades? I'm not sure what you mean exactly. If there's a trade that comes in front of me, I'll take it. If that's what you're asking, if it's on crypto, I'm not trading forex or indices. But gold, I'll do gold for you. Oops. So oh wow, it came up. Damn. Well, we talked about this at the beginning of the week. So this is exactly what we said would happen. I'll find it. Wait 1 second. I'll pull up exactly what we said this is going to happen. So this is on Monday, 22nd. Gold weekly daily imbalance. And I just, the reason I'm showing you this is not only to show you that I did call it, but to show you why I wanted this to happen. So weekly and daily imbalances were filled, and the 15-minute had displayed bullish structure. As long as the bullish structure is maintained, I'll look for long ideas trading into the closest daily imbalance above. So we had marked out this level. We refined it down, I think, to a 4-hour. But you could see it's barely, it's all the way up here in this picture. And this was down whenever we were at the bottom. We also said this order block, we would trade off the order block. Because if you notice, and we're going to go on a chart and go over this, as we said, as price returns to the order block. Now it happened with news. I didn't take a trade right off the order block, but we did take trades off of the trade idea. So if you look at that, right off of that order block, right? So we wanted price to come back up into this imbalance. I think we found on a daily and refined it to a 4-hour. You see price came up into it and reacted pretty violently. So we're looking at the daily chart. We had this daily imbalance right here and then that 4-hour imbalance. So this is right around equilibrium. So you see price came pretty close. We're right at equilibrium and we got a reaction. Now the 4-hour hasn't switched bearish yet. This 1 hour is questionable, determining on how you draw the highs and lows. I could still see a little higher potentially, just because if you see that whenever we came back down, we don't really leave any imbalances. There's nothing here to go off of. It's everything's full. So if there's nothing, no amount of liquidity like that we're drawing towards, it could be that we're going to take out the highs. So where we're at now with gold is we've came off of this imbalance. We're at that decisional point, but nothing's indicating to me that we're going to reverse super heavily, that the short-term trades, off this already played out. Price comes back down into this imbalance. It looks like it may have tapped into this candle right there. No, it didn't. But overall, if you start to see expansion of the upside, you could end up seeing these highs get taken. I mean, I guess, is this a little tiny imbalance here? I mean, theoretically, you just keep an eye on that too. But there's a lot of liquidity here. I mean, we did come above these equal highs, the short-term liquidation, and then massively moved down. Came to this imbalance. Now, what would change this to where I was, extremely bearish is if, let's see how this day, really I want to see this day close similar to this, and then at that point, I mean, the day closes like this, and then we start to see buy-side rates the next day, I would look to target around this low because you don't have anything in between here and there except the low. So right now, nothing around the 15-minute. Nothing really super appealing in my opinion. Gold is one, if you're going to trade it, like here, I'll show you a good example of what trading gold after lunch looks like. I mean, it's cool, but it's like boring as shit, right? Like this is at 11:45 the other day. Took a trade and it hit, but it took till, it was like a 9-hour trade for not much of a move. So, you notice gold moves during the New York Open. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Here's another example of that. The other day I was traded gold here. You could barely even see the position size. It was done in like 5 minutes. And then I traded gold here and it took like 9 hours. Literally. Again, it was like, well, actually this was 1:30 to, yeah, it was like 10 hours actually. So you see what I mean? It can be a little boring trading gold after session, but I recommend to trade gold at the New York Equity Open. But yeah, overall, I would probably look for these highs to get taken. If somehow you come up into this imbalance right here and you get a nasty reaction, yeah, the lows are going to get targeted. But we're at that decisional point where this push down could be just absorbing liquidity. Okay, FTX apparently has USDT futures. Yeah, gold went crazy, anonymous. We got that right on the fucking head. I mean, it was literally. It's funny, caught trades on it, but not the one I actually wanted to catch. But that's just how it goes sometimes. These were actually some of the trades that almost finished the challenge too. I hit that, over, yeah, that first little one, that was 2R right here, and hit that one. And then that was it for me for gold for a little bit. And then I was trading the indices. That's why if you see on that the equity curve that I posted, you can see how straight it was. It was just like, I can zoom in. No, you see, this is the equity curve. It was just like straight, like very slow, but it was straight up, and that was just from getting those slow, steady little trades. Oops. So I said Bitcoin going down. Oh yeah. I'll say you're welcome, Adeliki. Live stream trades, like live crypto trades on YouTube. Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. If there are trades, but like trading is not something you go and just force. And if I see something that I liked, I'd take it. We took a trade on live stream yesterday. Not only did I identify the order block, I also analyzed liquidity and also had confidence that it wouldn't go there. That's why what I need to put in my trades. Yeah, you gotta the thing is, like, the only thing standing between most people and doing that and having, like, that conviction is the fear of losing. Because you're like, or fear of being wrong. Because if you don't care to be wrong, then you kind of just pick what you want and go with it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, who cares if I'm wrong, right? It's just like, at that point, if you ended up being wrong, then, fuck, you're wrong, whatever. But you learn from it. But if you don't ever do that, then it's kind of, detrimental to your growth and your trading because, you're afraid to be wrong. And then your brain will make decisions based off that fear. I'm thinking about taking ETH short at this level right here. Look at the 4-hour. I'm going to set an alert because see how we're in this imbalance right here? I'm just going to set an alert for this level. So reason I picked this level is this whole little buy to sell range. This range took liquidity from these equal highs, right? And also you could look at this as a breaker right here, but I like this little buy to sell range. That pushed us down from there. So we got, now the problem with, just marketing or taking the limit right there is see how we're coming off this low. And then also that's in a 4-hour imbalance. So I'm not necessarily like super rushing to take that, EOS. I really encourage you guys to, like, I don't think I ever get asked coins that like it's easier to trade higher. People, like, I feel like people don't want to trade higher cap coins because they think that, like, they don't move enough or whatever. But I really encourage you to start trading like Sol, AVAX, because there's more money involved and it's easier to trade in my opinion. But EOS came off this imbalance with obvious force. Um, to me, it's no doubt you're headed back down at least into a discount. The clearest area I see is this daily order block. I think we went over this yesterday or the other day, but this is where I would frame selling ideas around that narrative to where, if you see right here, like you had a short-term high removed into a fair value gap, probably into the supply candle if you want to mark it like that. But however you mark it, so when you have that, this is a funny one, and this is why I don't like trading stuff like that, because it's like, okay, yeah, you took it, and there's like no entry. There's just no. That's what you'll see a lot with these alts, the way that I'm trading at least. So like I would have seen this, and okay, yeah, you broke structure down right here. You could just have marketed it, but I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea. But if you trade certain ways, yeah, it works. But for this, since it was a 15-minute raid. Honestly, I probably would have just targeted this. It wouldn't have been enough risk to reward. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that's the bias though, is to go down. But it's crazy to me. I said, can I look at 5-minute GMT? Sure. It's crazy to me. Nobody ever wants to look at like the coins that I like looking at. Everyone wants to look at like the illiquid coins, which is fine. Okay, it's going back down into that area right here at a leak that you were talking about. Bitcoin dumping is bringing it down. So nothing really much on the 5-minute yet, but if you get a reaction off that candle, 5-minute probably needs some time to form some structure if it's going to form, because you've got a massive move down into it. If it doesn't reverse there, we'll probably end up getting stopped, but take it on the chin and move on. But that's what you need to see here, is a 5-minute change of character. Like ideally make another little low, take the high, and go from there. But that's what you need if you want to. If I think you were talking about using the 5-minute confirmation. Do I know the kill zones off the top of my head? Yeah. So some people say 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern is London, 7 to 9 a.m. is New York. Then there are some that say 3:45 to 5 a.m. is London, and that 8:30 to 11 is New York. And then there's the London close kill zone, which is 10 to 11. That's a.m. And then people have spun it off into a bunch of shit where there's like a New York close kill zone, and there's all sorts of stuff where I don't know. I mean, I know that people say there is the last hour, which in the stock market people call that the power hour. So that can be considered a kill zone. Main ones I focus on are New York Open and the London close. I haven't gone over NOS actually. So let's look at NOS. Okay, so NOS looks pretty good. If we look, price came down, it took out the low. So we look, for me, this is the impulse move. I'm gonna look at the first. I'm actually gonna move this down to there now, because we moved a little farther since the last time. The 13,209 holds interest. This is what prices seems to be drawing towards. So you could frame long ideas, coming in the morning around coming up to this area right here. So this morning on NOS, isn't really as clean as SPX, if you want my opinion. I probably wouldn't even have taken a trade on NOS, my opinion. But I didn't really. I mean, yeah, it took out these equal lows. You could say that. I mean, again, I don't. If I would have looked at NOS and SPX, I would have took SPX this morning. SPX was fucking perfect. US 30 is always kind of fickle. US 30, you're better off just trading like Asia liquidity raids and then supply and demand, in my opinion. So you had this Asia low right here get taken. We already filled this daily imbalance. I'm gonna delete this. Oops. Yeah, the Asia low get taken under that area. Not really the clearest entry, in my opinion. I mean, I guess, yeah, if you take that, it's just a lot of times with these indices, it's like it's so far in a premium, these impulse swings. It's like doesn't come back down to equilibrium, even those clear areas. That's why 30 kind of moves kind of fickle, in my opinion. I mean, it's a lot of people just trade the strategy of US 30 rating Asia lows and then targeting New York highs, which like whatever they were at that point, which it go back tested, it works pretty fucking well, but I'm not sure why, but it does. What are my thoughts on the ETH merge? Do I think it will change price, or is it just hype? I really don't form like an opinion on that, because I think that as a trader, you shouldn't be swayed by that, because that's all emotional. So for instance, like if you're somebody who likes ETH, you're gonna your brain is going to attach to narratives that support the merge being good for ETH. If you're somebody who's bearish on crypto, your brain's going to attach to narratives of why it's going to be a sell the news event. And all that's going on there is your brain is just, you don't want to be wrong on your big narrative. So you're going to find supporting factors that go, against your opposition. So if you're a bull, oh, our ETH merged, the supply is cutting, we're gonna go to fucking 5,000, right? And theoretically, I can't sit here and tell you you're wrong. But if you're a bear and you say, okay, um, you know, whatever, the sell, it's gonna be a sell the news event, everyone's gonna dump it, yada yada. I can't tell you you're wrong. So notice how there's no factual basis. So as a trader, you need to operate off of factual basis, like what a factual basis you have access to, which is your chart. So don't get caught up in news, like fuck news. They can say the Ethereum merge went amazing, everything is great, I mean, it's the best thing that ever happened to Ethereum. And if I'm watching Ethereum that day and it looks like a sell, I'm gonna sell it. I don't care what the news says. Also, thank you to Adeliki. Somebody said I only trade New York and London, if anything, right? No Asia. Yeah, I mean, I've held some gold trades through Asia recently just because that nothing had changed, and they ended up actually hitting the TPs. There were the two that I showed you guys that kind of moseyed around. I will trade crypto during Asia. I will say that, but I don't trade forex or indices during Asia, or metals. I don't open a trade, I should say. So he said Matic. I'll do Matic, and this is gonna be the last one. And also Haas, I'll do AVAX too for anonymous. And then Haas, what indicators in the session when I have? Um, it's Boitaki is the author. So if you go to indicators, it's like Forex market sessions by Boy. That's the way that's why I can tell you to look it up. I think there's maybe a way to send a link. I don't know if this is the way to do it or not. I think I tried to do that one time, it didn't work. But you can change your settings. You can see that these settings are pretty ugly, in my opinion. I like the way that I have them. But Matic, um, oh wait, okay. So we came down in this area we wanted us to come into right here. Now, the reason we picked this originally, I think, was over in this region, and I was wondering if it was going to be a breaker. So I would want it to stay, under the mean threshold and then go down, which would be not what it's doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to scratch everything because I haven't looked at this in a while. It came down where we wanted it to, though. So when we're looking at the daily chart, got your impulse move right there. We've got a very clear daily imbalance right there that is in a premium, and we have rebalanced price, and the impulse move seemed to end. So I would be more on a bullish narrative here. So looking for raids of lows in order to frame long ideas. 1 hour looks like it could be going lower here, to be honest with you. And this is actually a really nice setup. So on Matic, see this imbalance right there. Notice how it's under a set of equal lows. I almost want to just set a market there, or not a market, I mean a limit there. ETH's already back up. So that's what, it could reverse here. I'll try to keep an eye on it. I do have to hop on a call as soon as this is over, but I'll try to keep this over in the corner and watch it. But I'm not going to force anything just because you see look how bullish we're reacting to that 4-hour fair value gap, right? There's a clean high right above. If we're looking at a 15-minute, yeah, this does look like a decent sell, but we didn't get that closure. We didn't get that range failure, right? Yeah, we broke this low, but If you see now, we're barely even leaving a fair value gap because the 15-minute has moved back that impulsively. So that's why I didn't want to just set a limit here. Now I could just go. We'll see. But keep an eye on this though. But yeah, Matic, I actually like that setup a lot. Because we take the equal high or equal lows, come into this liquidity pool and the fair value gap, and the daily bias is to the upside. You've also got, oh no, it took that high. Never mind. If we had equal highs, that'd have been great. So that could have been a nice liquidity rate setup. You know, you came above that high, lower time frames broke down, or you could have even just traded the 1 hour here. And this is why time frames are time frames. You could have just said, okay, you know, I'm waiting for the liquidity raid. You had to wait for this inducement high. And you could have just set a limit really at that high, because that would have been the beginning of the fair value gap at that point. Set a stop above there. It would have been the greatest. I would have just targeted the low. Would have been the greatest risk to reward. But it's just cool to study price, and because you know, if you can get the concept, well, yeah, this trade didn't have a great risk to reward, but the next one you find on the 5-minute might, you know. But anyways, as always, I appreciate you guys. Oh wait, actually, so I need to do AVAX, and then Anonymous said, "Can I go over the settings for my Forex sessions, please?" He put it in all caps. So, if you'd like, I can screenshot them. But so, because a lot of people have had issues with this, I was actually trying to help somebody else with this recently because they couldn't get it like mine. And the box I put solid. I think that's what people aren't doing, because I think it starts as dash, but then I put thickness 0. So what that does is it takes off the borders. So that's the main thing I'm doing. And then candle, I just have, I don't even know what this is. It's in a different language, but I think it says candle. I turn that off. I don't know why Hoochie's voice chat doesn't work. I'll actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'll try to really hammer that out right now. I'm going to go ahead and send a text. So you're saying it's on push to talk, but it never lets you work. It never works. Yeah, I just sent a text. So, Anonymous, did that help with the do I set the main, oh you asked, do I set main time frame to my personal time zone? Yeah, I changed. Yeah, definitely. You definitely went on your personal time, but you should, in my opinion, everybody that's trading should put their time on -4 GMT. 100%. And much love, Rush. But yeah, I would just put it on, because I mean it's up to you, but if you're trading off kill zones, it's in my, I guess maybe I'm just biased because I am on New York time. I'm spoiled, but it's kind of hard to, like, you know, maybe you can remember those times in your time frame or your time zone, but I put it on I put it on GMT -4, and then I just have 7 to 5 for New York session, 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. for Tokyo. Some people say that Tokyo doesn't start till 9. I just put it at 7 because that's what I learned originally, and also it works pretty well for me as far as liquidity. And then London, I just do 2 to 11. That's pre-market. London starts at 2. I hope that helped. Okay, you said yes, it works. Also, Hoochie, I promise you I'll try to get a resolution on that by the end of the day, and I'll actually hammer it out. On that note, though, guys, I'm going to hop off. I really appreciate you as always. Tomorrow, we're going to hop on a little later. It'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're just going to recap the week, go over all of the bias that we gave out on Monday, see how it played out and if it was correct, and answer any questions. So hopefully we get that voice chat working so more people can talk. I want you guys to be able to talk, so I'll hammer that out today. I'm sorry, I need to get more on that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow.